Welcome to Grand Rock Warehouse, and tonight we are talking 1987. We are talking our top 10 tracks. We've got a pretty big panel tonight. We want to hear from you in the chat. What are your favorite tracks from 1987? Let's keep it interactive. We hope we turn you on to something, so let's do it.
Grant is changing the world one track at a time on Grant Rock Warehouse.
All right, everybody. Hey, we are live, and it's a Monday. And we are in 1987. If you've been following this whole series, it's taken us a while to get to 87, but we are here. We have DC. We've got Johnny Metal. We've got Byron. We've got Todd Evans. We've got Yvonne. We're going to cross a lot of different music spectrums. The whole goal of this show is to turn you on to something. So if you're in the chat, I want to welcome you. Please let us know what your favorites are in 1987. We will get to it. So without any further ado, let's get started. I'm going to start off with Yvonne. We're going to go to Todd. We're going to go to Byron. We're going to go to Johnny Metal, and then DC, and we're going to loop around, and we're going to go 3, 3, and 4. Right? That sounds right. That's what we're going to do. It's just like the Contrarians. All right, Yvonne, go ahead and give us your first 3 picks.
Yeah, after I go through the list and prepare this morning, I saw that my first pick is from a singer that was released in November 1986. But the album is, of course, from 87. It's Alice in Moyer Rain Dancing album. And I really love this. It's a love song from Alice Moyer. She is 63 years old and she's still going strong, I think. She's from Essex, UK. And of course, she was one of the members of the Yazoo group. I think we call it Yas in America because it was Yazoo here in Europe. She's from Essex. And this song, this album here, it's a very nice, good album. And this first song, Is This Love, was released in the year before, 86. But this single here, Week in the Present, released in 87. So the year is 87, and that's my number 10 of the list of my top 10 songs from this year.
All right.
And we can go to the next one, is number 9. That's a very nice lady called Susanne Vega, and she has this album Luca, and Solid Standing was the album, and the song is Luca. And she also was very popular with this song Tom's Diner. It was released, I think in 84 on a folk album, this Tom's Diner. But Luca was a very big hit, and I think she's from Santa Monica in America, and the single was released in May 21 in 87, and she was also Grammy nominated for this album you see on the screen, Solid Standing. And the songs Luca, it's a sad song, and it's a song about child abuse. And it took some years before she told that this song was about herself. I think that was in 2021, and she was abused by her stepfather in the family, Ed Vega. And I love this song Luca, and the whole album to Susanne Vega. And of course, the Tom's Diner was also a big hit in the 90s on this. This is a 12-inch. Was a big hit with DNA, so it was remixed. So that was my number 9 on my list.
And I was, of course, why did you not pick Tom's Diner? Why did you pick Luca over Tom's Diner?
Now, because I think Luca is I feel it's a better song. Tom's Diner was I like the remix better. And this vocal, Tom's Diner, the first version was very vocal, not so many instrument. But right. I really like versions that was released with DNA in the 90s. But I really like Luca. And some people can say that that song is played so many times that it's boring, but I still like it.
But Brian, the Lemonheads didn't write Luca. They did a cover of it. They didn't write it.
No, that's true.
Yvonne, have you heard the cover of Luca by the Lemonheads?
No, I'm not sure. Maybe I've heard it, but not go to my brain.
Yeah. All right, cool. What's your next pick?
My next one is one of my favorite group, and this is this album here. This is Fleetwood Mac, and this album, I think it's also going to be a MoFi, this hi-fi release. They're going to release that on a special version. And the album here has so many good songs. And the album have all the Lindsey Buckingham and Mick Fleetwood, Christer McVie, and John McVie, and Stevie Nicks. So all the new Fleetwood Mac are on this album. And the song here is a song written by Christina McVie, and of course they write, all the members write songs, and it was released in April in '87, and it was the fourth single of the album. And Big Love, Seven Wonders, Everywhere, Little Lies, Family Man, Isn't It Midnight, all these songs was released as singles, and of course it's a very nice album. Some people don't like it. Maybe it's too poppy, too popular, but I like this album, and I love this song everywhere. It's a brilliant song. It's floating. It's floating. So that was my number my number 8 on this.
Excellent. Thank you, Yvonne. I need to talk to Byron just real briefly. Your wife went to see Rick Astley in concert. Is that true?
She might have. I don't remember. I don't go to her. She doesn't usually go with me to concerts, and I usually don't go with her to concerts.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand.
No overlap there.
I'm just trying to understand your relationship. I just I don't mean anything by it. I just curious.
Maybe he opened for the New Kids on the Block because I know she sees them all the time.
Right. Well, I'm sure that's what it was. Loverboy Notorious. My goodness, she got rickrolled. Did she get Rick? Stephanie, where are you? Did you get rickrolled? All right, let's just keep moving. Let's go over to Todd Evans for his next 3. Todd,
okay.
Nice to see you.
Well, it's not on this 3, but more on Tango in the Night later. And I hope nobody minds. I've got a couple of hits on my list. My list is not very hit centric, so my first one my 10th one is from the Cars Door to Door Go Away, which I've talked about before, and people are probably tired of hearing me talk about it. Last song on this album, great track sung by Benjamin Orr. It's not really a sort of a ballad, but not really. But what a beautiful song, great vocal performance, just fantastic. What a way to go. Well, what a way for the last Ben Orr song to be such a great one.
Yeah.
My number 9, I could have picked. I almost picked The Kiss from this album, but I did not. I picked my favorite, which is a song called 1,000 Hours. Very dark, sad, beautiful song. For how much longer can I howl into this wind? Just perfectly depressing Robert Smith from an album that's actually at times pretty uplifting.
Well, I'm going to interject, Todd, because I think that's a great pick. But when we're talking Robert Smith, me personally, I love all his pop songs.
Yeah, me too.
Because he, as a pop writer, he can write every depressing, gloomy kind of stuff. But man, when he writes a pop song, one of the best. Yeah.
Totally agree. Agree with that.
100%.
Yep. And I don't have a prop for my number 8. My number 8 is from North Carolina band The Connells. And this was a single, but it didn't get played on the radio. A song called Over There. And kind of, if you remember what was happening in 87, I don't know if all the other things like this happened in this particular year, but there was a real trend for alternative bands to have like trumpets and brass sections in their songs. Hunters and Collectors, The Lucy Show did a song like that. And this is one of those. It's got a trumpet solo in it as part of the verses. And just a really inventive, really cool song. Could have picked like 6 other songs from this record. I know Grant probably knows this record. It's
I know
really
that
good.
record.
Yeah. It's
I don't-
really great.
I don't have a copy of it, but I'm well aware of it.
Yep. So that's my number 8.
I really should rectify that, but you know,
Not super easy to find anymore.
Mhm.
So.
Whoa! Look, Justin mentions the Hooters. Ooh, I don't think anybody picked the Hooters. Davy Cretin, great album. There he is. All right, was that your 3?
That was my 3.
Holy crap! We're just zipping right through,
Fine.
man. So, Byron, before we go to you, I believe Stephanie said that she saw New Kids on the Block.
She sees them every tour. She loves them.
Oh, boy, there's something going on. Have you guys been to marriage counseling?
No, we don't need it. You know,
Mm.
I don't go to her concert. She doesn't go to mine. It's a perfect marriage.
Holy crap. Webb, so you saw the Connells live a few times? Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
We used to, when I was in school and the couple of years after I graduated from UGA, we were on the quarter system. And what the clubs in Athens would do is at the beginning of every quarter, they would have like a heavy hitter every week, like every day of the week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And one night would be the Connells. Next night would be Let's Active. Next night might be
Pylon.
just all kinds of stuff like that. Great.
This
great
is what I
atmosphere.
hate about Todd, and I love Todd, but he has seen everybody.
I was
'Cause
very lucky to be in the right place at the right time.
Yes, you were 100. I'm so envious because he's seen everybody. He was there at the right place at the right time.
Driving and Crying, probably saw Driving and Crying a dozen times before anybody even knew they were.
Look, Webb was there 87 to 92.
Yeah, I graduated in 87, Webb. And then I hung around Athens until 94.
Nothing wrong with that. All right. Awesome, Todd. Let's keep going. Mr. BM Bolt, what's your 3?
All right. Yeah, you know, I don't have a lot of hits on my list. You know, it's more about albums that I love from that year, and I'm picking, you know, a song that I really love on it. It might not be the best song or the most popular song, but it's one of my favorite songs. So everybody knows by now that I'm this huge Gary Moore fan, and I used to collect everything. But in 87, he came out with his Wild Frontier album, which was really a good amalgamation of rock and Irish music, really. I mean, he hit the sweet spot on that, kind of like Thin Lizzy was doing at times. And yeah, so I'm going to go with the Over the Hills and Far Away. This is the double 7-inch because I got all this crap from back in the day. You know, I really like that song. It's this blend of rock and Irish music. He's got this Irish instrumentation going on in the song with the drums, and it sounds like violin, but it's more probably keyboard. The song is a story. It's a kind of folky about a man who is arrested for a robbery. He's got an alibi, but he can't use it because he was sleeping with his best friend's wife.
Oh.
So he's just going to have to go to jail or ruin his friend's marriage. But you know, it's kind of it's an old story, but it also could apply to these days. So I just think it's a great song. My next pick
All right.
is probably from my favorite album by Marillion with Fish on vocals. And it's on the Clutching at Straws album. I'm going to go with Sugar Mice. You know, it's just a poignant song about a man who feels like he's failed his wife and his kids. And it's got this great guitar solo by Steve Rothery. My wife says I love depressing songs, and I think she's right. So both the songs so far have been kind of depressing.
Well, you know, Byron, that brings up a good point. Do you feel that your wife has failed you by attending New Kids on the Block and
No, she makes her happy.
and
so-
Rick Astley concerts?
It makes her happy, so that's all that
Okay,
matters.
I'm just trying to get that cleared up.
Yep.
I just want to make sure that we're clear on this.
So my third pick
Mhm.
from '87. This album was huge. Just sold millions.
Yeah.
It's by a band Whitesnake, and like I said, this album was huge. I've got the 1987. This is the imported version. It has a couple different tracks on it that weren't on the American release. It's got "Looking for Love," which was not on the American release. This is a ballad. It's about trying to find love. Guy's got a broken heart, so it's kind of sad, I guess. Sykes just destroys on this album. Now, some people don't like Sykes. I love John Sykes. The solo on here starts out with his real slow, huge vibrato bends, and then at the end, the speed picks up, and he just starts shredding. This song's incredible. I don't know how many people know it because it's not on the American album. It used to get some airplay here in the U.S. You got to hear it if you like Whitesnake. That's my third pick.
I think Pete Pardo loves that record.
It was always his number one. I think it's his number two now. So, yeah.
All right.
I like all eras of Whitesnake. I can dig the early stuff, the middle stuff, the later stuff. It's all good to me.
Eric says, who doesn't like Sykes?
Well, there's people who don't like him.
That's what I
I
was
think
thinking.
he's too over the top.
I mean, I don't know. I thought he was all right.
Here I Go Again was a big hit from that album.
Peter
Oh,
Jones
yeah.
is the only one that I know is not a Sykes fan. Maybe.
I mean, yeah. Still of the Night was huge. Give Me All Your Love was a little bit of a hit. Crying in the Rain. Is This Love? Here I Go Again. I mean, it's got a lot of airplay in the U.S.
Christian says Sykes is sick
In a good way.
in a good way.
In a good way.
All right. So was that 3?
Yes.
Wow, you're efficient. Jesus. Okay. Let's throw it over to Johnny Metal.
All right. Yes. So same here. I don't think mine are like really big hits or anything,
It's
but
okay.
but I'll keep all the metal folks happy. So let's start off with a group that had a couple of brothers in there before one of them was tragically killed in an automobile accident. How about a little Sabotage? 24 hours ago. Kickoff track. Just comes in and just bludgeons you. Just smashes you over the head. Great track. Great album. I can understand why Pete Pardo absolutely adores this album. It's just always was an amazing album from start to finish. Great album. Next one. I got to see this guy in concert in 1987. And I think somebody was talking about Cinderella earlier when their albums came out. And he actually was opening for Cinderella on this particular tour. I'm talking about Ace Frehley with Frehley's Comet, Rock Soldiers.
There you go.
Love that track. Love that track. I was always an Ace fan from my Kiss days, and so when he finally came about, he was ready to go. I was like, yeah, I was digging that song. It was kind of telling his life story a little bit at that point, with the whole DeLorean and all the, the stuff that was going on with that song. Last one for my next 3. Going to take you over to Japan. I think I've talked about these guys a few times. Band called EZO, with a band that was produced actually by Gene Simmons of Kiss, and a song called House of a Thousand Pleasures with just a crazy sick riff to start off. Spitting vocal. Yeah, maybe the drums are a little processed, but boy, that guitar work is killer. So House of a Thousand Pleasures, and that's what takes me out for my first 3.
So I'm not sure what Sydney's talking about, but you don't like the vocals? I take it you don't like it for the vocals, though, Johnny, but I'm not sure which one he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about there, Slogan. Or
When
Logan,
you leave a comment, please make sure you refer to what you're talking about so we can.
Oh, well, if he's talking about Ace, well, I mean, I guess if he's talking
I
about
like
Ace,
I don't have a
I mean,
problem.
back then, Ace actually did sound pretty. I mean, Ace was never a great singer, but he sounded good. He sounded decent enough on those albums, and he sounded decent live when I saw him in concert. But so, yeah, if that's what you're talking about, Logan,
I'm
yeah.
assuming that's what he's talking about. And also Sydney likes Ezo, so there you go. So far, you're hitting it out of the park.
We got no Marlin tonight.
Not yet.
Okay.
I don't know what Marlon didn't check in, Byron. So all right, so that was your three. Excellent.
That's my
Let's
three.
throw it over to Eric Robinson likes Ace's vocals. Let's throw it over to DC. DC, what's your three?
Hello, folks. Let's see. As with most first picks, since I've been doing these yearly top tens, let's dispense with my Todd Rundgren or Todd related pick right from the get go here.
Given.
It's a song from a Rundgren produced album called Yo Yo by the group Bourgeois Tag, and the song is called I Don't Mind at All.
Great record. Great record.
Yeah, a very Beatlesque with hints of Eleanor Rigby worked into the instrumentation and vocals. Reached 38 on the Billboard charts, and we weren't getting a lot of this kind of pop in 1987. And I would describe Bourgeois Tag as a more serious-minded Tubes. I mean, there's great melodies here. It's experimental at times. And the musicianship is top notch. In fact, 3 of these guys joined Todd's band for when he toured with the big band setup. Larry Tagg, Lyle Workman, and Mike Urbano on drums.
Killer band. Band.
Really great
Lyle's in Bourgeois Tag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a guitar player. Yeah.
He's a smoking guitarist, man. I didn't know he was with them. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. If you haven't checked out Bourgeois Tag and you like Todd Rundgren or Lyle Work, please go check it out.
Yeah.
Please,
those guys.
do yourself a favor.
2 albums and out. But really tremendous players, tremendous songwriters, vocals. They had it all. Of course, me being a big fan, they weren't going to make it with the masses. So, au revoir.
So, Todd, when this came out, well, 87, you weren't working in the record store anymore, were you?
I never did.
Still
Still
was.
Were you still in the record store?
Yeah, I still was, yeah.
Do you remember stocking this record at all?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Couple of copies at a time, yeah.
All right.
We would play it in the store. So
yeah, absolutely love both of their albums. The second one is a little bit more pop shaded, I should say, but they're both great albums, and you can hear the Rundgren in the grooves, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone was lamenting the fact that that was on the charts. Here's another one for me. It's a jazz pop group who for me had one of the most infectious tunes on the charts for 87, and it's Breakout by Swing Out Sister. Yes, I said it.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that track at all.
Not at all. This song is catchy as all get out, and they have a wonderful vocalist with Corinne Drury. They continue to record to this day, and every one of their albums is brimming with pop, lounge, soul, and jazz. I really love this group. So that's my second one. My third is from an old, reliable band of this era, but with their new vocalist. And I picked the Survivor tune, Is It Love, with Jimmy Jamison now taking over as lead singer. Yeah. And I think I like the band even more with him than with Jim Bicker. I guess that's the original vocalist. Everything that I like about pop rock, catchy, hooky, great vocals, la la la. It peaked at number 7 in January of 87. And although the album was released in 86, I'm going to count this as an 87 tune. So there's my top 3.
All right. Excellent.
Not top 3, first 3.
So someone was asking, I'm going back to Webb was going, Wuxtry in Athens.
Oh, no, I worked at Turtles, Webb. There used to be 2 Turtles locations in Athens, and I worked at both of those. And also back home where my parents live in Marietta.
There you go. But we've been to Wuxtry.
I'm not cool enough to work at Wuxtry. Not even close.
You have to have a certain pedigree.
Yes.
to go there. So Christian's giving you a thumbs up on the Survivor.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you,
me too.
Christian. Thank you, sir.
Jimmy Jameson replaced Dave Bickler, both great. I'm a Jimmy Jameson fan. All right, cool.
Yeah, Jimmy Jameson, just chef's kiss.
Look, Daryl was saying John Butcher wishes. I'm surprised. How'd you miss that, BM Bull?
I'm looking up to see what the hell's going on here.
I'm sure that would have been something you were going to pick.
I love that.
I'm trying to track down that one John Butcher Access album that's never appeared on CD. It's got a purplish tinged photo of him on the cover. Got the vinyl somewhere, but can't track it down on CD.
I think I keep it on vinyl.
There you go. Yvonne probably has this. Wendy and Lisa, Everything But You.
Wendy and Lisa are great. Man, they
Yeah,
had
I'm sure
so
he's
much
got
to
that.
Prince's band. I don't think people realize how
Oh,
those
great.
two really contributed to Prince's early 80 output.
NXS Never Tear Us Apart got the ladies all hot and bothered.
What
My
the?
goodness. What
Oh, I
kind of-
need to note, I think it was Webb. Yes,
What?
it's clean shaven for the new year. Got tired of looking at that white little goatee.
I know,
looking
but
back
it's
at
really
me.
changed your look.
I know I kind of look like hell. I have been told that without my goatee, I look like a sheet of manila paper with 2 brown dots.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but
Well,
Diagon, where
I've
have you
told
been?
that.
Nice to see you. All right, I'm going to go with my 2 picks now, ladies and gentlemen, so brace yourselves. It's probably not what you're going to think, but no one on this panel, and I thought Todd Evans would have picked this because this is right up, or Yvonne, one of you two. I'm going to go, my number 10 is Squeeze Hourglass
Oh,
from Babylon. Oh, Babylon.
That's
and
not
On.
even
Great.
a honorable mention for me. I just completely overlooked it.
Me
What
too.
a great Squeeze song. Now, if you go and buy the Squeeze Greatest Hits, like the original version, this is not on there. This would fit right on there. Great hooks, great production, great vocals. This checks all my boxes. I love it. Now, when I did mine, I didn't particularly, I have them numbered, but the numbering really is insignificant. It doesn't mean anything. My number 9, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves. I'm going to go with the Pet Shop Boys. It's a Sin off Actually. What a great single. The video's great. A lot of religious overtones. It's a Sin. I'll let you figure it out, but I think this is like one of my favorite Pet Shop Boys tracks. I love it. Check it out. All
That's
right.
my number 12.
Okay. Well, we're kind of
It got
close,
cut.
Todd. I knew you and I would be kind of similar.
Have you
All right,
seen
mine-
the Boys live, Grant?
You saw them live?
I have seen them live, and they are very boring.
Well, yeah. I saw Kraftwerk.
Live is very boring.
I saw Kraftwerk a couple months ago, and they just stood there too.
Yes.
But I got to see Kraftwerk, and it was great.
Yeah.
Basically, the audience was moving around, but Kraftwerk just was playing. You know, great stuff. All right, my number 8. I'm going to go with a record that, if you go through the dollar bins, ladies and gentlemen, you could probably find it for $1 or 50 cents. But you have to look for that CD that's got Peace Train on it if you're going to buy it. I'm going to go with 10,000 Maniacs. What's the Matter Here from In My Tribe? I remember when this video came out and I had not heard this song, but I saw the video and I went, wow, what a great pop song. Absolutely phenomenal. Great record. No one cares about the 10,000 Maniacs now. You can buy this all day for, you care, Todd?
Yeah, I care.
Okay. I knew you cared, damn it. Other than Todd and I, no one cares. I bet Yvonne likes it. But great song. It leads off the album. Wonderful track. Very poppy, but it's excellent songwriting. Natalie Merchant, I think, sounds great. The band sounds great. But you could get it all day for 50 cents or $1. But good stuff. So that's my number 8. All right.
Grant, my
I
favorite.
can only imagine what the comments said about those.
My favorite of Pet Shop Boys is always on my mind. This is 12-inch different version of the song. So I like that.
All right.
always on my mind.
Yeah, it was super cool when it came out because, to be honest, when this record came out, it did make a dent on the charts. People kind of took notice. I don't really think that there was really much anything, sounding like this at the time. It was very unique, I think. I know they put out a record before this, but it didn't do anything. And Mrs. BM Bolt is on my side.
I don't think I know any of your picks so far, Grant.
If you don't know these, you're definitely not going to know the rest. Oh, I almost picked Lips Like Sugar. Almost.
I got nothing.
And thank you to Ken. Thank you to Ken White, who came up with the
What did Ken
John
say?
Butcher album that I couldn't. John Butcher Axis. He had the title of it posted, and it just flew by me.
Well, I know Byron totally missed that
Byron?
record.
Is that it?
Hey, James. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Never came out on CD.
I can't find it anywhere.
Well, I guess it didn't. All right, cool. Let's keep her going. Oh, I love it when Stephanie's in the chat. BM, they are depressing enough for you.
I gave $1 for that.
Oh, God.
Oh, those songs,
I
yeah.
love Stephanie. All right. Oh, Schnee's here. Almost only counts in horseshoes and DC grenades. Look, Schnee's did make an appearance. I'll be
About
damned.
that.
Yeah. Didn't 10,000 Maniacs do a song? No, that's the Proclaimers. Super. Two different.
Get the Proclaimers and your Maniacs all jumbled up there.
But the Proclaimers came out in 87, I think. Todd, back me up.
They did.
All right.
Yeah.
I would walk 100 miles. Yes, of course you would.
500 miles.
Sydney says, Butcher? What an awful last
Butcher.
name that
No,
had.
Butcher.
Butcher, not Bitcher. Ladies and gentlemen, words are hard.
I
Schnee's
typed,
in
it
the
wrong. I
house.
typed it wrong in the comments earlier. I corrected it, though.
Schnee says, I'm here because I like one person on the panel. You decide which one.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Stephen.
Well, he was invited,
That's
but he
nice.
declined. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not sure who he likes.
His picks would be better than yours so far, I'll tell you that.
Oh, well. Christian likes Bitcher better. All right, let's keep going. DC, what's your next three?
I think
That's
we're
Ivan.
going in the
No.
wrong
Oh,
order.
who did I
think
say?
Yvonne.
It's Ivan's next.
Oh, Yvonne. Jesus, I'm sorry. See, Yvonne, please.
You got
Yes.
thrown with the Bitchers and the Maniacs.
I apologize. You're next. Oh, this is a record that I really despise.
I think this is one of the best debut albums from the artist. I really like it. But,
Wait, where is it? Hold on.
and he had so many hits in this. This record was so many hits. So you have If You Let Me Stay, Wishing Well, Dance Little Sister, Sign Your Name, and Rain. So I really like it, and I have, of course, a 12-inch version of the song Wishing Well. And this guy, I think he changed his name from Terence Trent Howard to Sanada Francesco Matreya in 2000.
I can't even pronounce his name now, Yvonne.
Yeah. So I butchered that, but this was his debut album, and it was released in UK and Europe in June '87. But in the States, this Wishing Well song was released in '88 in January. And of course, this guy is 62 years and is still going strong. And this song Wishing Well was also used in the Grand Theft Auto, this PC game. And one of my kids, he find that song in the game. So this and many people have seen, Grant, you are a Beatles fan, and many people
Number one, my favorite. Yeah.
Trent D'Arby himself that this was the best album after Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Band Beatles album. He said it in the interview, and he was a little pressed by the people was going against him, but he said that in one interview.
Well, he was out of his mind.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he got a little bit full of himself. Not quite as bad as Milli Vanilli did, but yeah, that might have cost him a little bit, man.
But what did this guy do? Okay, I know this was kind of critically acclaimed when it came out, but what did he do after this? Absolutely nothing. He has like 3 albums.
He does have a couple albums after this one is really good. I mean, I
better than this.
Oh God, yeah. In my opinion,
he made 2 albums with the same name, but he changed the name, and he have lot of 6 albums with this another name. He changed the name.
Yeah.
So,
there's even more.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah.
Todd, were you aware of that?
No, yeah, I was. I just couldn't remember it.
I never cared for this record. No offense, Yvonne.
I'm pretty sure
I love you like a brother, but I really can't stand this album at all.
I'm pretty sure that the record company was not thrilled with him not being able to keep his trap shut. And so he got himself in trouble a couple of times by saying things like that. And
do you think that's what killed his career? I'm just throwing it out
maybe.
there. Yeah.
Certainly didn't help him.
The wishing well never runs dry. All right. Cretan says, I always like his first, third, and fifth. Of course you do. Mr. B.M. Bolt says, I think I have known 2 or 3 songs so far. This tells you a lot about B.M. Bolt, ladies and gentlemen. He has really a very limited
you have to have the
very limited
to whisper in your ear with some of these.
All right, Yvonne, sorry. We're having a lot of banter. I'm going to throw it over to you. What's your next
We're going to talk about the guy. They called him Yog, so you can guess what his nickname was, Yog. And the guy we're talking about is, of course... So this is the 12-inch version of Fate, and the album was also Fate, of course. And the video to Fate was also nice. It's starting with this I Want Your Sex on a jukebox. And he has a leather jacket, and then the Fate song was starting, and it's a very simple song and very, very, very good song. And of course, again, this album here has a lot of songs that was Hard Day, Father Figure, One More Try, Monkey, Kissing a Fool. So a lot of hits from this album here. And Fate was the second single from the album. I Want Your Sex was the first one. And this George Michael is one of my favorite artists. The voice is so good. I've seen him in a concert live, and he's a very tall man. He was standing there in a suit and singing, and it was so good. So it's sad that he left us. He left us in December in 2016 on Christmas Day, the 25th. So, this song here, Fate, is a very nice song. The song is a little dry. He wants to have a little Prince vibe over the song. So, but I really liked it, and the video is very nice. So that was my number 6 on the list.
Okay. Oh, Sydney, that's not nice.
Sydney, you can do better than that. That's just too easy.
Come on, that's low-hanging fruit. Come on, man, try harder.
Number 5 on my list is this guy here.
Oh yeah,
this is John Hyatt, and he didn't have so big success. This is the 8th studio album from John Hyatt, and this song "Have a Little Faith in Me" was a hit in Europe, but it was never released as a single. So it's a song from this album here, and this song is about his sobriety. He had before problem with both drugs and alcohol and broken marriage, and then he wrote this song, and it was a little bit hit in America in 2003, some years afterwards. So the single that was released from this album here was this Thank You Girl. And I know that Rick Cooder and Nick Love was on this album to John Hyatt, and he plays piano on this song, Have a Little Faith on Me. And I really like this song. It's mellow, nice song that I never get bored. So I really like that. So.
That was his biggest record, though, wasn't it? From what I remember.
Yes.
I had a buddy that loved this record, highly recommended it when it came out.
Yeah, that's a good song too.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And you, number 4 now, or?
Well, we'll do that on the next round.
Okay, yeah.
All right, let's throw it over to Mr. Todd Evans for his next 3.
Okay, my number 7 is a song that was a hit for this band, Eurythmics, but not a very big one, and I blame RCA Records for that. I did a show on Rock Daydream Nation with Davey Cretin was there too, where we talked about those record labels where you feel like you can blame them for the failure of an artist or an album, and I picked on RCA for this one because if they had released from this album the same singles that they released in Europe and everywhere else in the world, in the United States, they would have then done a lot better. But they, for some reason, picked the song "I Need a Man," which is like every irritating 1987 sound all wrapped up in one song. And then the rest of this album, Savage, was really elegant, European sounding, beautiful music, just fantastic arrangements. And You Placed a Chill in My Heart, I think, is the best one. I almost went with the title track, Savage, but this is one of my favorite albums, one of the most misunderstood albums of the 80s. Mm-hmm. In the United States, it charted very poorly and disappeared quickly. And that isn't right. That ain't right.
Todd, did you mention Davey Cretin?
Yes.
Never heard of him. You did a show with that guy?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with his work.
They have this song Beethoven from this album. That was popular.
Oh, there he is right there. Look. I'll be damned.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the songs that was released as a single in other countries and not until very late in the United States.
Hold on, Ken. I got to bring that. I only can give wrenches when I'm actually watching the show, and I wasn't watching the show. I will give D-Rock. I know D-Rocker. We go way back. I'll give D-Rocker a wrench.
Davey Cretin needs a wrench too.
Well, I don't know who he is.
I really like you.
We know who you are, Davey.
Hold on, everybody. Let me get this wrench thing out of the way so people calm down. Because you know why people don't have wrenches now, right? Yeah. All right, let me take care of that. Because we were hacked.
No.
Yeah.
So people were given wrenches who weren't supposed to have them?
No, we were.
So we're giving out wrenches.
We're giving out wrenches.
Haven't we always been giving out wrenches?
Yeah, but
person have wrenches and then they destroyed everything. So
Yvonne knows how to explain it.
Got it.
You get a wrench, and you get a wrench, and you get a wrench.
It's
under my seat.
It costs $10 for each wrench. No,
if you don't have a wrench and you had one before, please, I apologize, but I had to get rid of all the wrenches to get this hack under control. So that's all I'm going to say. I see Eric Robertson. He probably needs a wrench. So anyway, let's keep going.
Okay.
I'll get everybody on track. Thank you for the reminder. All right, Todd, let's go to your second one.
All right, my number 6. This was mentioned before, and I am choosing Big Love from Tango in the Night. They did Big Love in an acoustic version. Fleetwood Mac did for forever and ever, years and years and years. And I think the acoustic version is fantastic also. And I think people just kind of got tired of it. But Big Love is really a really innovative song and great playing by Lindsey Buckingham. Really cool rhythm section part. And one of the coolest videos ever. It's all of this. It's like one camera and it goes through all these crazy, like, starts on a crane and it goes, inside of a house and through all the rooms, and it's all the band members kind of keep showing up in it. And then towards the about a minute before it's over, it starts going backwards. If you've never seen this video, the video for Big Love is amazing. But I think Big Love is one of the numbers six.
Tyler's got a good point. What does Todd, is this the last great Fleetwood Mac album?
No, I think Say You Will is pretty great. But you could, if you said that Tango in the Night was the last great one, I'm not sure I would disagree with you. I mean, that's there's certainly some merit in that.
Oh, yeah.
A big box alternative Fleetwood Mac. Then you get the one version from each of the album with alternative version. I think this version of Big Love is on that version, alternative.
Wait a minute. Did Crowded House come out this year?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
You know what?
I thought that was 86.
I
thought it was the year before because I picked the tune.
I thought it was 86.
Yeah, I think it was.
Because I love those Crowded House albums.
All right, number 5 is,
cool.
I know Grant knows this one and probably nobody else. Litany, Life Goes On by Guadalcanal Diary. If you've never heard this band is from, technically from Marietta, Georgia, but they're considered to be an Athens band because that's where they played the most. This band is absolutely fantastic. A heavier band than anybody ever gives them credit for. And this is everybody's homework to go find Litany, Life Goes On by Guadalcanal Diary and play it. Amazing energy from this band. One of my favorite bands and one of my favorite songs of theirs. The closest thing they ever got to, well, maybe Always Saturday from the next album, but probably the first or second closest they ever got to having a hit. It almost happened for them.
So is that a white label promo, Todd?
It is. Yeah.
Damn you. I just could tell. I could just tell that you had a white label promo.
I just looked into it at the local store.
Really?
This isn't the copy I had back then.
Yeah. Creighton, whoever this guy is, says he hasn't heard. I remember Guadalcanal Diary, but haven't heard them in decades. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can stream that.
Likes it. Yeah. Look at Pop Picked. Motels, Missing Persons, Gary Myrick. My big 3 local bands saw them a lot. Yeah. Love all those picks. You're the man. All right. Was that your 3?
That was my 3.
All right, cool. Mr. BM Bolt. Let's get ready to shred. I'm ready.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a little shred in here, but
okay,
not till my 3rd pick.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to be honest. I was never a fan of the band, the band, the Dylan backing group. I knew a few of their songs back in the day, but I really didn't know much. And I didn't know who the hell Robbie Robertson really even was until he put out this album. And this album's incredible. At least I think so. So many good tunes on here. I'm going to pick Showdown at Big Sky, though, because that was the first song I heard off of this, and it's just wonderful. But, I mean, Somewhere Down the Crazy River, Fallen Angel, Broken Arrow. You got Peter Gabriel singing a little bit on here. I think Bono's on here a little bit, or I think it's actually U2's on this. I just love this album, so I had to pick something from that.
Would you say that he put out other solo records, though?
Yeah,
right?
I've heard the next few. I think I have, like, there's one that he did. It was like a soundtrack for like a NPR show or something about Native Americans. Yeah, he did a lot of that kind of stuff. That was pretty good. What was that other one? It was about New Orleans. Anybody know the second one?
No.
I can't. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, it was about New Orleans and their music. That one was pretty good.
Did that win a Grammy?
Which one? The second one or the first?
The first one.
Probably. I mean, I think it's incredible. So,
all
right. My next pick. We did a ranking the album show on these guys. I don't have the prop, but Grant's got it.
I do.
I'm going to go with the band The Call, and I'm going to go with my favorite song by them. I don't want to. Like my wife said, I like depressing songs. So this one's up there.
You're just a ball. You're just a ball of fun there, Byron.
Basically the song is about someone who has suffered some really strong emotional pain in their life from a relationship, it sounds like, and they want to love again, but they can't allow themselves to get involved and get hurt again. So it's really kind of a downer, but it's like a gut punch when I listen to this song.
That's a fantastic album.
Yeah. I think I picked it as my favorite Call album that night. So
Yeah.
I didn't mention Lou Gramm, but that's a good pick.
Schnee and I did not agree on that album though, but we did agree on that song.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that show. I almost deleted it, but I left
It's a
it.
great album. Great album. All right. My next pick here, we're going to do a little shredding now. This is from the second album by Tony McAlpine.
Of course.
The album's called Maximum Security. I'm going to pick Hundreds of Thousands. Man, this song is just shreds. And you know what? I'll be honest, he's a very melodic player most of the time. But in this song, he just lets it go. I think was it last night or the night before you guys were doing that show, Grant, on Pete's channel, and I made it a comment. I said, "Oh, we're going to do 1987 tonight." And George Lemay chimed in. He goes, "Are you going to pick Hundreds of Thousands?" I was like, "Yeah, I already picked it.
As a matter of fact,
It was
I
already
am.
on my list." So it gets the George Lemay seal of approval. So that's my third one.
Is it
Well,
heavy
No
music?
sense. Huh? Go
Is it
ahead.
heavy music, this one? I've never heard about this album.
Shredder.
Yeah, he's
Shredder.
an
Metal
instrumental
shredder.
guitar player. I'll tell you what, he's probably as good of a piano player as he is a guitarist. Every
Okay.
album he plays a Chopin piece.
Okay.
Just incredible, the talent that this guy has. But it's not like, I mean, a lot of these shredders you just get sick of listening to them. He's really good. He really is.
So Sydney met Storyville. That's right. That was the other
Storyville,
Robbie.
yeah.
There you go.
And I looked it up. Robbie Robertson was nominated for a Grammy 5 times and never won.
Wow,
I thought he
Holy
won
crap.
for that album, but he did not.
Great album.
man! I would have thought he would have won.
I see he play a Chopin lot on this album, this guy here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, was that 3?
Yeah. He started out as a piano player, I think, as a child, and then he got in his teens and switched over to guitar. He's doing both real well. He plays keyboards on a lot of the other Shredder guitar albums for other people. So,
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, let's just take a brief moment. Wait a minute, I'm adding someone as a moderator. I want to welcome Marlon here tonight. Marlon, welcome.
Just in time, Marlon.
Just in time to tear us all apart. But it wouldn't be the same without Marlon, because Marlon keeps us grounded. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Mr. BM Bolt. Let's throw it over to Johnny Metal. And Johnny Metal, please pick something that Marlon will approve.
Well, I hope so. Maybe nobody else will probably know most of my tracks, but
Marlon will know
it. Well, hey, that's at least one person.
Right.
First one, LA band, kind of sounds like Judas Priest a bit. Band called Malice with a song called Sinister Double. Love this album. Band that should have gone places, and for whatever reason they just imploded and just never went very far, unfortunately. But James Neal just had a great voice and sword like Halford's. Just a really good sound. Next track, let's go over to Germany to Warlock and a little All We Are from Ms. Doro. The last album is Warlock before she would go as a solo artist. Great video for the song, a little maybe cheesy video, but a great song live. Always loved Doro's voice, and I love the band in that one. Last song, now Johnny Metal's going to have a little bit of a soft spot, because now we go into the ballad department with a little "When the Children Cry" by White Lion.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Go ahead and talk about it, because I have to make a comment.
Yeah. There's just something, this isn't your typical ballad territory. And it showed that the hair metal bands, the metal bands or whatever, if they wanted to do it, some of them wanted to do a ballad, then, they could do it with something that had some meaning to it and something that meant something instead of the garbage. Every rose has its thorn type of ballads. No, this one had a strong message to it, and yeah, I agree. It still rings true today. So and it's actually a really fun song to play on guitar. I've always liked playing that one. So and it's pretty cool live. I got to see White Lion do it once live, and they really rock it up at the end of it. So it was pretty cool. So that's my three.
All right, I must make a confession. I played it when it came up, and I'm going, the children cry. So when I was putting the graphics together, I was playing at the same time, and I went, oh my God, I hadn't heard this song in years, Mr. Metal. And I went, it's got strings on it. The acoustic guitars just ring. The vocals are great. And I was going, well, this actually sounds really great. And now I can't get the darn song out of my head.
Yeah, really good song. Really, really good song.
But I haven't heard it in years. George says it needs sax.
Don't tell Marlon that.
No.
Where is Marlon? Oh,
Tell Marlon that.
Marlon, should When the Children Cry should that have sax? Wait a minute. Sax would be a screamer for me.
Just be careful how you say that.
I haven't heard. Eric Robertson hasn't heard that song in 20 years. I haven't heard it. Do they even play that anywhere? I haven't heard it.
I mean, Mike Tripp might do a reworking of it when he tours, when he does tours now. But I mean, Vito's been gone from the business for 25, 30 years now. So who knows?
I don't know. I just went, oh my God, I just haven't heard it forever. And I liked it. Thought it was great. All right. That was your three?
That was my three.
God, you guys are just zipping right through. All right. Mr. DC.
All right.
Get ready. Hey, Marlon, get ready.
Yeah, get ready, Marlon. You're going to jot these down to purchase tomorrow morning. For my next three, let's start out with an artist who I greatly respect, but I'm not a huge fan. And I think I could fill a mixtape of 12 to 15 of my favorite songs of his and be very satisfied indeed. And I was vacillating between two songs from this album to pick. I decided to go with the title track of Bruce Springsteen's Tunnel of Love. And what put this one over the top, and I'm not a big lyrics guy, but this song is an allegory about taking a dicey amusement park ride and the risks of entering a new relationship. And also I like the creepy scenario of the beginning of the song where the pervy guy working the tunnel of love ride has his eyes take a walk all over Bruce's girlfriend. The other song I was thinking about picking was Brilliant Disguise. So,
Webb likes it. Marlon,
for one.
Hard to read Marlon and his ratings.
One. Well, I still got two more strikes here.
All right.
With this pick, I find the last vestiges of a beloved group and the wonderful pop rock they created since the mid-'70s. And I picked, and it's been mentioned a few times here, I picked Little Lies by Fleetwood Mac. And this was the third of 6 singles, if you could believe it, released from Tango in the Night. It was the last really stellar single from this version of the band for my taste. And this one's written and sung by Christine McVie. Mm-hmm. But I would say that this is their last great album for me. Like I said, that single was the last really great single from them for me.
This is a 12-inch version of Little Lies.
Oh,
Yvonne, do you have 12 inches for everything?
I have around
shimmer down.
1,500 12-inch records. I have a lot.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
I like Isn't It Midnight on that album.
Creighton says nobody picked 7 Wonders from Tango.
That was my second choice, Davey, for that.
Davey, come
my
on,
second
man. Pay
favorite song from
attention.
that.
Pay attention. Marlon,
No, I didn't mention it.
I
I'm
know.
just saying it was my number 2.
Marlon, I love that album.
Yeah, for me, that's their
There
last,
you go.
in my opinion, really great album. And for my last pick in this go round, let's go with another band that for me had lost a lot of their excellence from the 70s, that great output of that era. But for me, with this album, they made a comeback and redeemed themselves. After this album, they became very patchy as far as my taste was concerned. But I picked the song St. John from Aerosmith's Permanent Vacation. And I love this tune, swankiness and swing, which they broke out on occasion, like with songs like Uncle Salty, that kind of thing. Like I said, for me, this is Aerosmith's last great album as well. So there's my 3 picks.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Mr. DC.
Thank you,
I knew
Tony.
those.
Yeah, look at that. Good song, DC. I'm checking the. All right. Great song, DC. That's a great song. Might be the best one on the album.
There you go.
I don't know. Where is
Sydney,
Gary?
thank you.
Gary,
I do have
you
a few
don't-
folks that think I got my head screwed on half.
Gary, you're not a fan of this Aerosmith era? I've told that story before, that we did this Aerosmith series on Ryan Gavalier's channel. Ryan no longer does anything anymore, but this is right when we were starting out doing shows. And we went over here and we did an Aerosmith series. And every night or whenever we would do the show would go on 3 hours. And we do the next show to be 3 hours. We just talked and talked.
Isn't the Permanent Vacation show the one that was the longest? I think it was.
A lot of songs on it.
record setter.
Oh my God. I don't think I could sit through those shows now. I mean, this show goes a little long, but it's designed to, but just talking Aerosmith, come on. Ken White says the first 5 Aerosmith albums are the best.
Yeah,
Well, maybe.
I agree.
I would agree. And then they lost their way. But I think with this album, for me, they redeemed themselves and then they wandered out in the weeds again. Always a couple gems on most of the albums, but not the consistency of that early output.
Of all this later output, though, the album that I like is the album that, well, not just Push Play, but 9 Lives. I really do like 9 Lives quite a bit.
Hmm.
And a lot of people go, really? Oh, I like it. It's all right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, DC. I appreciate all those.
All right.
picks. Let's turn it over to me once I can find my list. Oh, there I am. All right. So, Todd and I are kind of catching up together, but not really. But we're talking one in the same album. I'm going to go with The Cure, Catch from Kiss Me,
Catch
Kiss Me,
too.
Kiss Me. One of the best pop songs on this record. I think it's absolutely brilliant. In fact, this is like one of my all-time favorite Cure albums. I've got an original pressing, electro pressing of this. And when I bought it, it was like, I don't know, $4. And now it's worth, you figure it out, a lot more than that. But I've got an original pressing of this. I think this is a phenomenal track. And anything, I'm just down for anything on this record. I don't think this is a bad record. A lot of this has been critiqued like, oh, there's a lot of filler on it. I don't hear it that way. I think it's a great 2-record set.
If
My
anybody's a guitar guy, the guitar solo in The Kiss is a must listen.
Mhm.
It's a masterclass. The craziest guitar solo I've ever heard. Really, really good.
How are we getting on 9 Lives? Where's that starting? That's the wrong year, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking that year. The Cure, Harv says The Cure, everything is great. Well, there's
Correct.
some stuff not so great. I don't care for Blood Flowers very much. I think it's great. All right, my next pick. We're going to go to Athens, Georgia, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to go with REM. Now, Documents often considered one of the best REM albums. I think it's a 5-star record. I could have picked anything off of here, but I thought I'd go with the opening track. during this time period, I was taking in anything REM I could get. I couldn't get enough of REM. Now I kind of look like people don't care as much about REM. Maybe that's just an illusion. I don't know. But I thought I'd present some REM tonight. This is a great record. One of the last in the whole IRS series, which probably a lot of people think was their best period. I don't know. I'm not going to say it. There's a lot of great Warner Brothers albums. Automatic for the People's a great record. This is a great record, so check this out. My number 5, I'm going to go with a little band from Manchester. I'm going to go with the Smiths. And Strange Ways, Here We Come. I'm going to go with Girlfriend in a Coma. This was the last. Byron, you know,
Byron would love this
My wife
one.
knows that song. I didn't know it.
But I'm going to
this
look it
album-
up.
Look, I found this
sounds
album
awfully
at
depressing.
Goodwill for $1. I sold it though because I'd rather have the money.
It's worth more than that now.
Yeah, I think I sold it for about 20. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I know. Sydney's never heard of it, but well, if you know the Smiths, this is not an unusual title for a track. This is my favorite track on this record. The Smiths never put exactly Tyler. I knew Cretan would get this, even though I don't know who he is. But I think there's not the Smiths catalog. There's not a weak record in it. You might say this could be the weakest record, but this is kind of orchestrated. You know, it kind of picks off where the Queen album left off. It's fine. I love all the Smiths stuff.
Somebody in the comments earlier said that you could pick anything off side 1 of Strange Ways, and I think that's pretty accurate.
I think that's.
I considered every song on that album for this list.
Stephanie, I first heard Girlfriend in a Coma in junior high. Look at that. Look at you, Byron. Was the B-side a Boyfriend in a Blackout? No, I don't think so. Night in the Rut's damn good. All right, cool. Anyway. Oh, look at Mrs. Oh, yeah, there you go. Uh-huh.
Very astute.
Davy Mills was REM's John Paul Jones. I 100% agree with that.
Secret Weapon.
And yeah, I like that stuff. All right, cool. So there's my next 3. Let's do our last 4, and we're going to start out with Yvonne. Yvonne, take it away.
Yeah, I think 1987 was a lot of good albums from a lot of good artists. And the best album from this group, I don't know, people talk about this group and they don't say it's any good group. But in 87, this album here, the Joshua Tree, this is my favorite U2 album. And the song I was thinking about was With or Without You. And it's a very, very nice song that it's building up to its climax at the end. And this song was also used in the Friends TV series with this Ross Geller and Rachel Green. They have a love affair, and they was playing this song. So I really like With or Without You. It's my favorite U2 song, and I think also it's the most successful U2 song also from all U2 songs. So it was 16th of March. It was on the chart. So that was my number 4 on the list. And of course, this U2 album here has With or Without You. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Where the Streets Have No Name, In God's Country, on One Tree Hill. So it's so many good songs on the album.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my number 4 pick. So on number 3, I'm going to show more of my 12-inch. This is a double copy. This is Need You Tonight. And this 12-inch version here is 7 minutes and 2 seconds. And it's a Mendelssohn mix. And the song, Need You Tonight song is my favorite In Excess song. And the album also, Kick, is very nice. And I really like the song. And I think also it got a prize for the best song on the MTV award show in the year after. So it was an animation thing on this video. It was mixed by live action and animation. So it was a very, very good song. And of course, on this album here is a lot of good hits. Need You Tonight, Nuisance Tension, Devil Inside, Never Tear Us Apart, and Mystify. So this album here, also in Excess album Kick, is a very good album. So I think in '87 it was a lot of good albums that have a lot of good hits. So that was my number 3.
I think this is a good record, but I remember back in the day, I don't know if you gentlemen remember this, but a lot of the critics kind of criticized it because it was so minimalistic compared to their other work. I mean, it's very stripped down, very bare bones.
Yeah.
But it's packed full of hits. I'll give it that. I don't know. I think it stands up. I think it might be one of the best In Excess albums.
Yeah.
I own it. There you go.
And there, if Byron owns it, you know it means something.
And it's not even my style of music, but I own it, so it must not be too bad, right?
Yes. Then we come to number 2 on my list.
Yep.
And this is a 12-inch version of Prince's song, If I Was Your Girlfriend. And Prince, I really like Prince. And this album, Sign of the Times, was one of the big albums in '87. I also have this very, very huge box here.
Wow.
So it's a special box with all the outtakes and special versions. So it's one of my most expensive buy. But I really
Okay. Hold on, Yvonne.
Yeah.
So is that the CD box, the vinyl box? I know that it came out, but
this is the album. It's albums.
Hold on, I'm gonna make you big. Go ahead. Whoa.
So it's a book also, I think, a big so it's a very nice version with here is a big book also with a lot of nice stuff inside here. Pictures and
yeah, that's my favorite Prince record.
Yeah, and this album here, of course, is maybe one of the best album. I really liked it. So big box and Prince, If I Was Your Girlfriend, number 2 on my list. And this song here, on the B side, I can tell you on the B side on this song here, this is a 12-inch. It was a song called Shockadelica. And I know Shockadelica is also a name of a book that is written by a Norwegian guy. That is, 2 guys have written a book about Prince. They are very big Prince fans. And they also made a CD called Shockadelica with Norwegian artists sings and plays Prince songs. So this is the vinyl also. So Shockadelica is the name they have used.
Yvonne, what was Prince's alter ego that did the higher vocal register, the higher, when he did like the falsetto vocal that's on that track, and Housequake, and because there was supposed to be an album with all those tracks and then he pulled it.
Yeah, he pulled Shockadelica, and also this song, If I Was My Girlfriend, was planned to, I think they used it on Crystal Ball album, and Crystal Ball was outside, but it was not official. So both Shockadelica and this song was not, but it was released later, I think, on a special.
In the chat, what was Prince's alter ego? Strange Relationship was supposed to be on that record.
Yeah.
No, not Jamie Starr. Oh, what was it? It'll
remember.
Come to me. I can't remember.
I know that this If I Was Your Girlfriend, they also used that song in this movie with Demi Moore in 1996, the striptease movie. And Demi Moore had just got a Golden Globe for the new movie. I want to see that. It's a good movie, I think. So, but Shockadelica and was meant to be on this album called Camilla, and that was also not official.
That's it right here. That's it.
Yeah,
when
Camilla.
you hear Prince doing that sped up vocal, high pitch, he was supposed to do an album under that name.
Yeah,
and it's going to be all, Housequake, something off the Black album. I can't remember. It's not in front of me.
And that album was made in '86, but it was never released. So the same as the Shockadelic album also. So
right.
So, and of course, number 1 on my list. I'm a big Prince fan, as you know. So my number one is, of course, Sign of the Times. This is a bootleg of this Sign of the Times concert in Sweden. So it's two records and a lot of nice songs from the Sign of the Times tour to Prince. So Prince is one of my really big favorite, and this album here, I think it's one of the best album to Prince, and also one of the 10 best album ever made. But and I can also say that on this album here, it was a lady friend called Cat Glover. This is the Cat Glover, and she was a girlfriend to Prince in 2 years after this Sign of the Times album. And she made this song here called Catwoman. I have the 12-inch here. So she was the vocalist and she dancer also, and on this Sign of the Times album. So rest in peace, Prince, my man.
Yeah. Excellent pick. That is my favorite Prince album, though I like everything in this period, though. I don't think there's a bad record at all. Now, I would assume that Marlon would disagree, but we're not talking to Marlon. So anyway, thank you, Yvonne. Excellent. Todd, what's your next three?
All right. Well, my number 4 is a song that's not very well known in the United States. It's Paul McCartney's single, Once Upon a Long Ago. And that was going to be part of an album that he was going to make as the follow-up to Press to Play with Phil Ramone producing. And I really wish he had made that album, because this song is just absolutely fantastic. Beautiful arrangement, gorgeous song. I've only discovered it in the last couple of years, but it's one of my favorites. It's on the All the Best compilation in the UK. Actually, I think everywhere in the world besides the United States. But I have no idea why they didn't put it on there in the States.
And I don't know if it came out on any. I have both of those. I've got the UK version of this and the domestic version of this record. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably on another comp, but absolutely fabulous.
There's a comp that I think might be streaming only that is all of McCartney's singles, and it's like, I don't know, it's like 170 tracks or something like that, and it's on that. You can listen. I can't remember the name of it, but it's on the stream.
But is the Christmas song? I think Once Upon a Long. I think there is a Christmas song.
Oh, I think it came out early in '87. I could see how somebody might use this one because it almost kind of sounds like one, but I don't really know. I don't really know, Yvonne. All right, so it's been mentioned a couple of times that we haven't talked about this record, and I'm going to talk about it. My number 3 from Rush, Hold Your Fire, is Mission. And I almost chose Time 10 Still, and I almost chose Prime Mover. George, I think, mentioned Second Nature, which is also great. I picked Mission because I actually think that Mission is one of the best Rush songs, right up there with Marathon. And my favorite, I'm gonna say it's my favorite Alex Lifeson solo. I'm not gonna say it's the best, because obviously it's not a technically great solo, but I think it's very melodic and beautiful, and I like it a lot. And I have one thing to say to Sydney about this album. I was looking at the comments. There are no people who don't like Hold Your Fire. There are just people who don't like it yet. So that's my 2 cents about Hold Your Fire. My number 2, a lot of people aren't going to know this. This is a British band, the Railway Children. And did I miss something?
No.
Okay.
No, well, other than Marlon said Johnny Metal's itching to get heavy.
All right, this is the Railway Children's first album, Reunion Wilderness. The Railway Children were a Factory Records band out of the UK, and if you listen to this album, it's still, even though this came out on Virgin, on a major label, it still has they started as a Factory Records band, and this album still has kind of a Factory Records kind of sound to it. Little New Order-esque at times, but they only had 3 albums in their first run. They got back together later in the 90s. But great band. I always say about this band, if you like jangly guitar with counterpoint and counter melodies going all together at the same time, This is the kind of band, like if you like the Smiths, this is like listening to the Smiths only without having to put up with Morrissey. So if that's appealing to you, this is a really great band. And the song "Brighter" is just a masterclass in multiple guitar riffs and melodies all going at the same time, and that all fit together beautifully. So yeah, one of my favorite bands. When we get to the 90s, we'll talk about The Ocean Blue, which is another one of these kinds of bands that I really love.
You know what? I don't know if I told you this, Todd, but when I was out CD shop and blah, 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 in the cheapie bins, I picked up like 4 Ocean Blue for like a buck.
Excellent. A fantastic buy.
But such great records.
Yeah, I'm going to see him later this year, April, I think. And then my number 1 is a really obscure a song from a very well-known band, and they're probably their most obscure album, or one of them, from Free as a Bird. The last track on this album is called An Awful Thing to Waste, and it's 8-9 minutes long. It's got all of the super trademarks. It's got like spoken word in it, people talking in the background, and it kicks into this part that's almost kind of like a nightclub beat, and with a fantastic guitar solo. Just really, really cool song. It starts out with some just insanely amazing piano playing. Rick Davies hits those piano note keys so hard when he plays. And this is a really underrated record, and that's definitely an underrated song. And so that's my number 1.
Excellent.
Grant, I just want to update you. This All the Best, the cover you show on Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
This song, Once Upon a Long Ago, is on that album. I have that on vinyl. I tried to find it, but it was misplaced. But I have that double album on vinyl, and the song Once Upon a Long Ago is on that album.
But it's only on the European pressing and not.
Yeah, this is the UK pressing. I have the UK pressing.
We didn't get it. Why? I wonder why they didn't put it on our version.
Don't know.
Yeah, and it's also in the Europe. I have 2 versions of it. I have the UK and the Europe version, and it's the song is on that. Yeah. Mm.
Right. Cool. All right. Oh, goodness gracious! Sydney's listened to the Necromancer. Goodness gracious! My goodness.
That's a lot of times.
That's a lot of times, Sydney. Good. I'm impressed. Okay. Thank you, Todd. Excellent. Let's throw it over to Byron. Byron, what's your next pick?
Yeah, I saw a lot of people discussing this album earlier in the chat.
Thank God you've got it on your list.
And I've got it on my list. I don't think anybody picked the track I'm going to go with, but we're going to talk some Joe Satriani here. This is his breakthrough album, really, and I got to see him on this tour. He was still pretty much unknown, but it was a club, and it was pretty packed, though, so he was really starting to make some headway. There's just so many great instrumentals. I mean, to me, this was kind of like what Jeff Beck was doing in the 70s. He was making instrumental guitar music popular, and Joe was doing that on this album. But I like the song Circles. It starts out kind of slow and mysterious, and then it just kicks into high gear. I love it. But you got to hear the live version of this from around the same time period where they have this extended intro with he and Stu Hamm doing all these weird sounds on their instruments. It's just great. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Circles off of that album.
All right.
My next one, I'm going to go off of this is really the last Alan Parsons Project album, Gaudi. And I'm going to go with La Sagrada Familia.
I almost picked this.
Somebody else had mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
You know, it's a concept album about Antoni Gaudi, the architect who designed the Sagrada Familia. This is a pretty proggy song. I mean, they were kind of always prog light, in my opinion, but they really stretch it out on this track. It's 8:44. It's just a wonderful song. So I had to mention that one.
Yeah, I have not heard that record.
Underrated record.
Yes. Okay, so the next band I'm going to talk about, I had never heard these guys that I could remember till one day I'm standing in a record store and I'm hearing this song. I'm like, wow, this is a really good song. I didn't know who it was, though, and I And then I went into another record store, I don't know, a week or two later, I'm hearing that same song. I'm like, wow, this is great. So anyway, it was the Cult, and they were playing Love Removal Machine, but I'm not picking that track. I'm picking King Contrary Man. I love that track. It's got this kick-ass riff. To me, this is AC/DC in a lot of ways. I would put this album on back in the day, strap on my guitar, and just play along to almost every song on here over and over and over, because it was easy to learn, and so many great riffs on this album. I just love it. So, King Contrary Man, my track off of that. My last one, I don't have the prop. I sold it years ago, but I want to go off of Black Sabbath's Eternal Idol album, and I'm going to pick The Shining. Tony Iommi came up with a million great riffs on this album, and they were really struggling, though, and nobody seemed to really care by this time. I love this album. Tony Martin, this is his first album with him. He's kind of pulling off the Dio vibe on this album. They're kind of going back to that I think, a little bit. And this track I picked, The Shining, it's kind of got a heaven and hell feel to it as well. But there were so many songs I could have picked off this, but I thought I'd go with that one because that was the lead off track. So that's my last pick.
So Marlon, what would you rate that pick from Byron? Just curious. He's been awfully quiet on his picks. Maybe he just targets DC. I'm not sure. Anyway, cool. Excellent pick. Thank you, Mr. BM Bolt. All right, Johnny Metal, what's your final four?
All right, my final four. So this one's another sentimental song. This one has a lot of history with me. Rest in peace, Jack Russell. Save Your Love from Great White. The album closing ballad. His voice just absolutely soars on that song. Just a lovely little track. So yeah, rest in peace, Jack Russell. My next pick, this album's been mentioned a time or two, but I'm going to go with a different, I'm going to go with the, I guess in the American version, this is the one that leads off the album. If you get the European versions, it's like the second to last track of it. And I'm talking about Crying in the Rain from Whitesnake. Just John,
He tears it up.
2 words, John Sykes.
Yeah.
Enough said. You don't need me to go into any further with that song. Next track. This is also another big part of my life from the mid 80s. If for those who aren't watching the show tonight and they're wrestling fans, they're probably watching Netflix right now because USA doesn't have Raw as the Raw program for WWE because it's now on Netflix. So in honor of that, I figure I got to include a little bit of WWE with the Demolition theme song done by Rick Derringer. Absolutely heavy song. Yeah, okay, Demolition was a Road Warrior wannabe, but it's still a smoking track, and I still love to play that song. I think it's a great track. And again, not that anybody really cares, but everybody knows my top song is going to obviously be something from Wasp, and it's going to be the one lone original track on the album called The Manimal. This is The Son of Animal. It's a song that I would probably turn into Blackie Lawless himself as I was singing it in the car, which you don't want to be a part of. So that is my final four for tonight.
Is that a live album?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you, Johnny Metal. Marlon, I'm waiting for another rating, but he needs to get these up right when you deliver it. He's not very good on that. We need to work with Marlon on that. Anyway, thanks, Johnny Metal. Let's throw it over to DC. He's probably getting ready for DC, is what I'm.
Hope is zero. He is working on his keyboard here for my choices.
Yes.
The first of my last four is a group doing a song that I would have never thought they were capable of when hearing them early in their career. In fact, I didn't even like them when they started. I thought they were sloppy players who didn't really have any kind of songwriting chops that appeal to me. They are more well known for some of their rambunctious rock, but this song is a departure, and it's the Replacements with Skyway. It's mostly an acoustic tune featuring Paul Westerberg's plaintive acoustic guitar and vocals, and it's all wrapped up in a tidy 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And a side note about Paul Westerberg, if you have not heard the version of Ghost on a Canvas that Westerberg wrote for Glenn Campbell, do yourself a favor after the show. Check it out here on the YouTube. It addresses Glenn's dementia. And when you every time I watch it, the hair raises up on my arms. It is so poignant. And just watch it after the show, folks. Next one. This will be my first venture on these lists into the realm of country. And what puts this song over the top is its humor and delivery, and it makes me smile every time I hear it. It's Lyle Lovett's She's No Lady. Really great melody, humorous, insightful lyrics, and great vocal interpretation from Lyle. If you haven't heard it, give it a listen. It's very engaging and funny. And speaking of uncharted waters for me on these list shows, this is my first venture into prog, or should I say prog hard rock. It's Yes with the song Big Generator. And that thing is just so bombastic, but playing off of those familiar John Anderson vocals that I'm sure Marlon is a big fan of. Just that it's a very satisfying listen with the bombastic instrumentation with his vocals. Like it quite a little bit. And then for my last pick, I don't think I ventured into the realm of noodlers either, but I am now, and it's Joe Satriani from Surfing with the Alien with Satch Boogie. And it's my kind of noodling tune, in and out in just over 3 minutes. Melodic and zesty playing without all the excessive histrionics, which I'm not a huge fan of. I like noodlers who are to the point, be melodic with tension and soul built into your leads. I don't care how fast you play, it's what you play. It's probably one of the reasons why my favorite Hendrix tune is Fire. That's another one, 2.5 minutes in and out, boom. So that's it for me.
Well, Marlon, he did land Julia Roberts. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, he had to have something going for him, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Sydney says, I take it DC isn't a Yingwei fan.
It just doesn't resonate with me, Sydney. That
well, there's not a lot of soul to it. I'll give you that.
Just doesn't. Give me Kotzen, give me Satriani. Those are my boys.
Brilliant. All right. I'm up. Thanks, DC, for your picks. I'm going to go with a band that this is off their 4th album. I could have picked anything off of this record. This is one of my favorite albums of 1987, led by singer-songwriter Scott Miller, who eventually took his own life. These guys never really sold any records, but if you like a band that's in that power pop genre or power pop adjacent, you'll probably dig this. And I'm going to go with Game Theory and the track, Kenneth, What's the Frequency off Lolita Nation. If you haven't heard this record, which probably no one has, do yourself a favor and check out Game Theory. Scott Miller was one of the great songwriters of this era, or Byron's rubbing his head.
How does this compare to the REM song then? I'm curious.
It's different.
Okay. But it's the same subject though, right?
Kinda.
Okay.
But if you like power pop, you'll dig this record. Trust me. I think this was produced by the brain. Produced by
Give me a hint.
Let's Active. Mitch
Easter.
Easter. Yeah, Mitch Easter
Yeah.
produced this. And he produced a lot of their stuff. So check it out if you like that. All right. My number 3, I'm going to go with why not? Let's give the Ramones some love. I Want to Live, the opening track off of Halfway to Sanity. I love the Ramones. I love this record. At least I think I do. I love most of the Ramones stuff. But I think this is a great track. Check it out. I love it. Let's see what's happening in the comments. Mitch Easter did work with REM. Correct. 100%. Oh, we do have someone who kind of barely recalls game theory.
That's a
Right.
start.
That's a start. Creighton, he likes the Ramones.
Yeah,
Halfway
of
to
course.
Sanity is a great album, and no one else picked it. Harv, though, said Game Theory is great. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you.
Whoa, look
Yes,
at
you
this.
should. Yeah, excellent. I guess I hit a nerve. Well, that makes me feel better. But no one else is going to mention Game Theory. Go check it out if you haven't. Grant's got a girl in his room screaming. No.
Somebody was screaming.
That was
Yeah,
the
it sounded
door.
like the crypt keeper entered the room.
That was my wife.
Ooh.
Well, the door or whatever it was sounded ominous.
I'm not sure what. Look at Sydney's working the room already. Goodness gracious, calm down. All right, so my number 2. Great track. Is it a novelty track? I don't know. They played this song quite a bit in 1987, at least within the alternate universe. And you know what? How could I not mention the Screaming Blue Messiahs? And I'm going to go with I Want to Be a Flintstone off of Bikini Red. I love it. I could listen to that over and over again. I think it's great. It's fun. I'm telling you, I'm getting in 1987. It's getting hard for me to pick stuff because I've noticed when we did the 86 show, things are starting to change. But this still gives me hope. I like the Screaming Blue Messiahs, and no one knows them anymore. My number 1, which really isn't my number 1, but this was a great record. The alter ego of XTC, I'm going to go with the Dukes of Stratosphere. You're My Drug off of Sonic Sunspot. Love it.
Love it.
Love it. This is a good example if, putting an album out in the 80s that absolutely duplicates that 60s sound. Amazing work. John Leckie produced it. Great. I could have picked anything off of the Dukes album and I could have picked it. So anyway, if you don't know the Dukes, which is XTC's alter ego, check it out. So anyway, like I said, none of mine were numbered. I just picked them. So it is what it is. Yes, Dukes. Sir John Johns. Of course. Marlon, you wouldn't know.
They only made 2 albums, I see on the list here.
Thanks, Webb. Appreciate it. At least Webb's giving me some props. No way I expected that. Well, I like to throw curveballs in. So, all right, cool. All right,
Grant,
anybody else?
I was going to say, do you want to do honorable mentions?
Yes, sir. Go
Because
ahead.
I thought this was going to be an easy task, and I ended up with 23 and had to cut 13.
Okay, Ken.
All right,
boy.
so let's do.
Just sit back.
I'll
Let's
go
just
them off
do
your
it-
mind really fast. You want to hit everybody?
Let's just do it the order that we were going. So,
Yeah.
Yvonne, you go, and then Todd, and then Bayer. Just go ahead. All right,
This
Yvonne.
is Billy Idol, and I'm surprised that nobody chose this. This is heavy music. Don't Need a Gun from 87. 12-inch. This is, of course, Right on Track. This is the Breakfast Club. I really like this song, also from 87. Johnny Hate Jazz. Turn Back the Clock, also from 87. This is Depeche Mode, Never Let Me Down Again. This is Wax, Building a Bridge to My Heart. We have Call Me med Spagna, was a very big hit on the dance floor. This is Jolly Taxi, Vanessa Paradise. She was also with the Lenny Kravitz. And Hands of Heaven, Breath, a very nice slow song. We have Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up. This was a big hit in all MTV and everything. And this Pump Up the Volume in March, I really like this. It's full of nice sound effect. And this nice here is Ofra Hasa med Imnu Alu. Very nice special 12-inch version of that song.
Rickrolled. There you go. Excellent. Thank you, Yvonne. Let's throw it over once I hit the right button. Where's my button? Oh, there you are. Let's throw it over to Todd. Todd,
All right,
you're up.
you don't have to make me big like that. I got no
Okay.
props for this.
All right.
I'm hoping I can read my handwriting. I considered the goth band The Bolshoi, their song "Please."
Yep.
I cut that. George Michael, "One More Try," one of the best vocal performances of all time. The House Martins, "The World's on Fire," the second album by the House Martins.
Yep.
In Excess Never Tear Us Apart. Somebody mentioned that in the comments. I considered Marillion from Clutching at Straws, but I picked White Russian. Could have picked 7 other songs from that album. Pet Shop Boys, "It's a Sin," Psychedelic Furs, "Heartbreak Beat." It really hurt to cut Public Image Limited, "Rise." It really hurt to cut that.
Yeah, I almost had that too. Good album.
For REM, I had "End of the World as We Know It." Sisters of Mercy, "This Corrosion," really feels like it belongs on this list. For the Smiths, I had "Girlfriend in a Coma." I had Warren Zevon, "Reconsider Me." And I also had "Big Generator" on my list. I think that's an underrated song. Everybody talks about how they don't like the song "Big Generator," but I never get tired of that song. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm right with you, Todd. It's so engaging to my ears.
It's so 1987 that it almost circles back around and becomes cool again.
Oops.
Right.
There you go. All right, cool. Thanks, Todd. Byron, you got anything?
Yeah, a couple things here.
Okay.
Let's talk Sammy Hagar. I'm gonna pick. You can either go "Give to Live" or "Eagles Fly." That's a really good album. A lot of good tracks on that. How about some Dio? "All the Fools Sailed Away" or "I Could Have Been a Dreamer." That's one of my favorite Dio albums. Doesn't get enough love. Robin Trower, "No Time." That was a pretty good comeback album with Davey Pattison on vocals.
Agreed.
My other one, I didn't write any songs down, but I was going to say there's quite a few great tracks, I think, on Pink Floyd's album. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. Momentary Lapse Freeze there. Some people don't like that album. I think it's still pretty good. I like quite a few tracks.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Go ahead. That's it.
All right. Johnny Metal, you got anything?
I'll run through my list real quick.
Okay.
Indians by Anthrax, Concrete Jungle by Anvil, Raising Fear from Armored Saint, At the Gallows End by Candlemass, Kiss of Death or Mr. Scary from Dokken. Let's see. Scarify from Racer X, Time Stands Still from Rush. Let's see. Wake Up the Sleeping Giant from the Love Is for Suckers album, Twisted Sister. Rocket Queen from Guns N' Roses, Bullet the Blue Sky. To me, that's still one of my favorite tracks off that Joshua Tree album. Lizzie Borden's Me Against the World. Say You Will from Foreigner. And how about a couple tracks from the great soundtrack from an extremely depressing movie, Less Than Zero, Hazy Shade of Winter by the Bangles, and Slayer's version of Inagata Davida.
There you go, man.
Now I'm done.
All right, cool. All right, DC, what you got? You got any honorables?
I didn't really write anything down, and guys have pretty much covered it. I don't have anything to add to it. I didn't put a list together of extras.
That's all right. That's
We
okay.
forgot the worst record in '87. Bruce Willis made a record in '87. This is
That's
respected.
my honorable mention is that.
This is a 12-inch version of that. Yeah.
And, you know, Yvonne probably has the only 12-inch version of that in the world.
Yeah.
Imagine that being longer.
Imagine. All right, cool. Well, I want to thank everybody in the chat for popping in and enjoying the conversation. And I want to thank the panel, Byron, DC, Johnny Metal, Todd Evans, and Yvonne. We will be back next month for 1988. So we'll see how that goes. So I do want to mention this before we wrap this dog up, that Wednesday, the Contrarians live chat is back in action. We will be back. We will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, we're talking about album covers. And this weekend on the next listening party. Now you're going to go, what? What's going on? Well, Tony Dio will be here and Count Ralphus. And believe it or not, we are doing a, we're doing a thrash show on Sunday. I swear to God.
Thrash music.
Thrash. I
Okay.
swear to God. Thrash at 7 p.m. on Sunday. Hey, it's whatever my guests want to play.
Yeah.
I'm turning it over to my guests. So what channel are you talking about, Webb? I don't know what they're talking about. No, not trash. Thrash. Yes. Tony Deal and the Count will be here on Sunday. Anyway, so tune in Sunday if you were interested in that. I don't know what, well, I do know what they're picking. I've got their lists already. I need to get that show together. So that'll be on, that'll be Sunday. And then I think this week, Schnee, is it tomorrow? I don't know. Schnee will be back. We'll be looking at the Kinks reprise records. There's a lot going on this week. Things are back in action.
Are we live tomorrow or recording?
For oh yeah,
One and done.
One and Done's live.
Okay.
Those
You
are
can
all live.
You can pump it up if you want.
Oh yeah, we have a One and Done show tomorrow at, I think it's at 8 p.m. right?
8 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're looking at that first album by God, what are we looking at? Lowell George, his one and only record. So if you're interested, pop in, join the conversation. We'll be live tomorrow at 8. There it is. There's Johnny Metal. Let's make it big, Johnny Metal.
You have the new version, the double album, Record Store Day version.
That's cool.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we'll be looking at that record tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. So join. Oh shit! What did I just do? Oh, I got rid of him. Oh, Johnny Metal. I didn't mean to get rid of you.
That's okay.
He's back.
Anyway, I want to. God, I'm a mess. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Everybody have a good week. Just, I don't know, keep it clean and wrap the rascal and all that good stuff. Gentlemen, we'll see you. At least I don't know who's here for 1988, but hopefully all these gentlemen will be back. We will see you. All right, everybody, have a good week. We'll see you.